right, we're back to talking about the distributive property. So we looked at it on Tuesday, you did some practice with it, and now we're going to talk about it a little bit more, kind of review it, and then add one more little piece on to the end of it. Which in many cases, when you look at the problems, I'm looking at a couple examples, yeah, we really are adding something on to the end of it. Okay, so quick refresher. And we did this example the other day, or something like it. Let's see here. So I've got 2 times negative 3s plus 1 minus 5. And the distributive property tells us we have to multiply each thing in parentheses by the number outside. So I'm multiplying the 2 by each thing. And you can decide if you want to combine like terms first and then multiply and distribute, or if you want to distribute then combine like terms. As you can see right now, I'm going for distributing first and then combining like terms. All right, so let's do that. 2 times negative 3s, negative 6s. 2 times 1 is 2, since it's a positive answer, we write plus. 2 times negative 5, because it's a minus 5, it's negative, so we get still a negative 10. Okay, now we got to combine our like terms. Positive 2 minus 10. So positive 2, take away 10. We're going 10 left on the number line, which puts us at negative 8, right? So we got negative 6s minus 8. All right, so that's our little refresher on the distributive property. Now, we don't just have like one set of parentheses and then we're done kind of thing. Sometimes they're a little more elaborate, or things we're going to do a little bit more. So let's take a look at this example. Let's see, negative 1/2 times 6n plus 4. And then I close the parentheses, and then I have plus 2n. All right, now let's think about the order of operations for a moment. Order of operations says, what do we look at first? That's right, parentheses. All right, so I'm looking here. There's nothing I can actually do, right? They're not common terms, or like terms. I can't put them together. However, that still keeps me moving in the right direction to know what I need to do next. So I can't do parentheses, no exponents. Then it's multiplication. Do I have something I can multiply? Yes, right here. So I need to do this distribution before I add the 2n on at the end. And I don't distribute it to the 2n because it's not in the parentheses. Okay, so I'm going to take negative 1/2 times 6 and negative 1/2 times 4. So what's half of 6, but it's negative? Lee said, now we're going to have negative 3. Negative 3n. What's half of 4, but it's going to be negative? 2. And we said negative 2, so it's minus 2. Now we bring down that plus 2n, because whenever we use order of operations and have to continue solving, we write down what we haven't dealt with yet. It just continues on. Now we better combine our like terms. Negative 3n plus 2n. Got a negative 3 here, positive 2 here. So we put that all together. That's negative 1n minus 2. Now remember I said the formal way of writing it, we don't write the 1. So the most official way to write it would be negative n minus 2. All right, let's take a look at another problem. Let's try this one, okay? I'm going to erase to give us a little space. There we go. Okay, so let's do this. This time our extra term is out in front. 3.5m minus 1.5 times m minus 10. So we're going to follow the same idea here. We're not going to deal with the 3.5n yet. Can't do anything in parentheses, but we can do our multiplication. So we're going to distribute, and we're going to take the sign with us here. That whole thing times m and times negative 10. And we write down what we've already got, 3.5m. Negative 1.5 times m, remember there's an invisible 1, So that's just minus 1.5m. Now we have to do negative 1.5 times negative 10, because there's a minus there, so it's negative. All right, let's just do that on the side here. I'm going to put 1.5 on top times 10. Remember this trick when you multiply by 10 or numbers ending in 0? Put the zeros at the end off on the side. They just drop down. Now multiply. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 1 is 1. How many decimal places? We've done this part before. Right, there's 1. My decimal point goes there. I'm not going to write the 0. The point 0 later. And it's a negative times a negative. So it should be plus 15. Am I done yet? Nope, I'm not. You're right. Gotta do a little more math here, don't we? 3.5m minus 1.5. 3.5 minus 1.5. Stack them. Line up your decimal points. 5 minus 5 is 0. Bring down the decimal point. 3 minus 1 is 2. Once again, if it's a point 0, don't write it. Just write 2m plus 15. So you can see we're using order of operations even when we're doing the distributive property. All right, let's look at one more type of problem here. My eraser, these take up a little more space, at least on a small board. Here we go. Let's see here. Okay. 4/5 times 10w minus 5 minus 2 times w plus 9. All right, we've got a lot of things going on here, don't we? First, let's focus on this first set of parentheses. We're going to temporarily ignore that. Let's focus on distributing 4/5 to each thing in parentheses. 4/5 times 10 and 4/5 times negative 5. All right, we'll do that little work over here. So 4/5 times 10 over 1. Because how do you write a whole number as a fraction? That's right, you put it over 1. Okay, if you want to cross cancel, go ahead. Some of you guys like that, some of you don't. 4 times 10, if we multiply across, is 40. 5 times 1 is 5. What's 40 divided by 5? It's 8. If you cross cancel, did you come up with 8? If not, double check your work. So we know over here we've got 8w. Now 4/5 times negative 5. Well, we know it's going to be negative, right? 4/5 times negative 5 over 1. Okay, now those of you who don't like cross canceling, remember my rule. Well, my thing I highly suggest, I guess. If you see an obvious cross cancel, do it. 5 goes to 1, 5 goes to 1. Got a positive times a negative, so we'll have a negative. 4 times 1 is 4. 1 times 1 is 1, so this is negative 4. We have minus 4 over here. All right, so we took care of half the problem. Now, what do we do here? We have got to distribute the negative 2 times w and the negative 2 times 9. That negative sign is important because remember, technically we add the opposite. So I could write this as plus negative 2 times w plus 9. Just so you know. I'm going to erase it now because I don't want to confuse things, but just know that that's there. So instead, we're going to take negative 2 times w. What is that? Negative 2w. Pick the right color to write with here. So since it's negative 2w, we write it as minus 2w. Negative 2 times 9 is negative 18, so we write that as minus 18. Now, no more fractions, just some like terms that we have to combine, right? 8w minus 2w. Or for those of you, since I haven't done this in a while, like to stack it up, let's do this. 8w minus 2w, 6w. Negative 4, take away 18 more, should be negative 22. And that's your final answer. So keep order of operations in mind. Think about how the distribution works and how you combine like terms. We're really just continuing to put things together that we've been talking about over the last couple of weeks.